So, the thing about being an Aquarius moon, or maybe it's just me, the thing about being me is that a week will pass of me not living in a household that traumatized me, and I'm like, now why is my body still carrying trauma? Why are you acting like that? I don't know, because you're traumatized? That's okay. Oh my god, that feeling when you can't rush your healing, that is so wild. That's so silly. That's so silly and goofy. So I have to get this realization out. Because I woke up and fucking journaled this morning, which I hardly ever journal in the mornings, but that's what I needed to do, I guess. Anyways, my subconscious mind goes into like continuous self-reflection after I journal, just like kind of digesting everything that came out like in the background. And I just had this realization because I am definitely like in the process of like unlearning the mindset of trying to like prevent harm, or like from the space and from the mindset where I'm just like, everything that I'm doing is so that I can prevent harm, because that's just like not realistic. Everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm learning and unlearning, and that other people who are doing the work are doing too, are trying to, or they're doing it to reduce harm. Like at the end of the day, experiencing pain in some capacity is inevitable. We all have the capacity to harm others and ourselves, and we all have the capacity, for the most part, I'm not gonna get into that, but to feel and receive that harm. And so the point is to reduce harm. I feel like the preventing harm is almost like, it feels like that either or kind of thinking. And it's so much more complex and nuanced than that. I also feel like in regards to like oppression, I feel like that was the trauma and oppression and stuff. I feel like that, you know, became a coping like mechanism, or that's the mindset that I took on as a person who's been oppressed all of their life and have dealt with a lot of events that were oppressive. It affected me deeply and psychologically, obviously, my whole entire life. So I think that I really took that on. That's why I used to be a people pleaser. I think people who are people pleasers also probably have, like, they just genuinely have that mindset. It's like, basically you're trying to prevent harm, and that's just like an unrealistic standard to hold yourself to, or to hold anybody to, because you're a human being, like, and you're gonna harm people sometimes even when you don't mean to. And that also made me realize, like, that kind of mentality, that either or kind of mentality when it comes to harm and being harmed, that's exactly why white people act like that. That's exactly why white people act like victims when they're a little uncomfortable, or when they may have been harmed by somebody's words or something. But the thing is, like, being able to receive harm is not the only characteristic of being oppressed. Like, it's not the sole characteristic of being oppressed. Like, I would argue it's not even the foundation necessarily. Like, well, that's a lie. I would not argue that. That's a lie. I take that back. But basically, like, being able to receive harm is not the only characteristic of being oppressed. And also being able to commit harm on somebody, having the capacity, having the capability to harm somebody else, is not what makes somebody an oppressor. Like, it's far, like, deeper and greater and more complicated than that. But I get it now why white people act like victims when they're the ones who are doing the harming. And it's because anybody's rejection of them, anybody's truth of the harm that they are causing, or have caused feels like harm to them. And so then they think they're being oppressed, and that's just like simply not the truth. But that's white supremacy working in all of our brains, clearly. So I know that I'm healing because I'm high as hell. It's not because I'm high as hell. There's more. Because I'm high as hell. And I just put these chocolate chip cookies into the little toaster oven. And then it went ding. Music to my ears, if I do say so myself. And I opened it up very slowly, and I was just like just overwhelmed with joy. And I heard myself saying, wow, I am living life. And then I stood there and I laughed about it for a solid 45 seconds. And that's how I know. That's how I know that I'm healing, because I'm getting my whimsy back. I'm getting my whimsy back, and I've missed it. Oh my god, how I've missed my whimsy. And this is like the part of the healing process that like people don't talk about, is getting your whimsy back. Because I won't even get into it. Just know that on this day, I got my whimsy back. So, new piercings. And also, I just won my first, it was literally very easy, but I've never negotiated before. So one of my first negotiations with a landlord. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm learning things. Literally doing the most to try to give back to my community as best as I can. And I'm reaching that point. Oh, I just saw a message. Sorry, y'all. I was reading it. Where I'm like, I have to remember to not forget my needs, because I become so minded and focused that I forget about myself, because I do that with everything. When I'm making art, when I first started doing solo photography, I had that issue because I would sit there and hyperfixate on the shoot and complete it, like set it up. do the makeup, do the styling, take the photos, edit the photos, upload it, and I take 5-6 hours doing that, and my stomach would be growling and I'd be forgetting to feed myself. And so I'm coming to this similar kind of lesson and realization and understanding and knowing, because I've been offering a lot of help, but it's because, like, we all need help, right? Yeah, but I also need to remember to just help myself and meet my needs, because the thing is, like, I have been getting a lot of things from other people too. Like, it has been mutual. Like, I feel very, very blessed right now. And also, like, for me, especially when I'm in that kind of like energy of like receiving so many blessings in abundance, I'm like, it's such a waste if I don't share that. It's such a waste if I don't give that energy to people too and keep that cycle going, you know, and contribute to that cycle, because I want that to continue, not just for me, but for everybody, right? But I'm also a little overwhelmed. I'm highly blessed and favored, but a little overwhelmed. But I'm setting intentions for myself. And also, I spoke to a friend, like, from Athens, maybe a couple weeks ago or something, from the time that I'm filming this. And I literally said something to him, and it's actually been repeating in my head recently. And I said to him, what a blessing it is for your life to be so full. That's what I said to him, because, like, he was talking about how busy his life has been. But it's like, good busy. It's the things that are important to you. It's the things that matter not only to you, but to, like, your community and to the world at large. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're contributing to that. And I literally said, what a blessing it is to have a life so full. And that's how I'm feeling right now. Why the fuck did I say that? Why the fuck? I take it back. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't take it back. But I'm getting it. I'm really, like, I was already beginning to feel it when I had that conversation with him. But now I'm really beginning to feel it. But that is okay. That is okay. I'm gonna feed myself now. And take care of myself as best as I can before the work of tomorrow. And I'm gonna live by that. And that's what I'm gonna live by. I will take care of myself right now as best as I can to prepare for the work tomorrow. Talk about mantras, bitch. Talk about mantras. Anyway, that's the healing update that's going on now. The last of my face before it's gone forever. Yeah, I moshed so hard. Then I got a bloody finger. Actually, my finger was bloodied before I even moshed. I am just silly goofy, I guess, or something like that. So I just have to get this off my chest and my heart. And I feel like I've probably already said this before. If I did, I feel like I said it in a different way, but I just gotta say it again because it's on my heart yet again. And that is, I'm literally just like, it really stuns me when people do not choose to grow. It really stuns me when people perceive that as hard or too hard, because quite honestly, the life that we keep being given by the realities and the systems outside of us is what's making our life so hard. And also, it keeps getting worse, and also it's going to continue to get worse. And that's not in a like we're fucking hopeless kind of way, but in a way of like, if this is the hard that we inherently have to exist in, then the work that we do in our personal lives, in our personal stories, and in our personal journeys, why would we not want that to count for something? Why would we sign up and to continue to sign up to just have it replicate the same kind of hard the world has given us, the same kind of work, the same kind of labor, the same kind of pains and pangs that the world has already given us. What the fuck do I look like? And I dealt with this when I had commitment issues. I feel like I don't have commitment issues anymore. We'll see. Nobody's triggering me, so I don't know for sure. But the same thing I had to confront was like, what the fuck do I look like having like commitment issues, but then like remaining committed to toxicity and remaining committed to these systems of harm that are harming me and harming the people around me? And in a perspective outside of like relationships or committing to things or whatever, outside of that perspective, because we don't just commit to people, obviously we commit to things and to values and stuff. And it's just like, why would I want to remain committed to the values that continue to disempower me when I can choose to remain committed to the values that do empower me, regardless of what the fuck is going on around me and what's happening to me? Like, because otherwise the things that are harming me win, the systems that are harming me win. And yeah, I'm a petty bitch, and I can admit that. I'm petty sometimes. I'm a petty ass bitch, and I would never on purpose let that system win, especially inside of my own body, inside of my own reality, inside of my own world, inside of my own mind, inside of my own spirit. To remain committed to these systems that were born out of my trauma and my ancestors' trauma, that have no attachment, that have no existence, that have no embodiment of my heart or what their hearts were. What the fuck do I look like being committed to that? Because that's bullshit. And I simply don't fuck with that.